It's good to see you again. We were talking about last time that you had a goal in mind of maybe some a boundary you were kind of said, or just having a discussion um, with your ex about having some space in the home for yourself, to help, prevent some of that mental clutter. Uh, Tell me about what happened.
Oh yeah. Um, well, I didn't follow through. I have to be honest. So, um, yep, I just worked around the mess.
Okay.
So, um, yeah, I think I still just don't want to step on anybody's toes.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it just takes time to be able to take that step. Do you feel like you're gaining any clarity though with your thought process in that?
Um, maybe some. I was thinking about um I remember we had talked about my fears of the future with his health and what's that going to look like for me, and I was thinking about that. I was like, well, what is that really? And then I got sort of sad and really realized it's the fear of being alone,
Hmm.
and that um that feeling of loneliness is just a really difficult one for me.
Hmm.
So, um, yeah,
So even though he's your ex, you still have almost fear that being alone.
yeah, because of things in my childhood, I think being alone, actually being alone, can trigger just it's just very fearful. So, um, which is strange because I'm more naturally introverted,
Mhm.
and I love my alone time. So I have lots of periods of time where I'm like, yes, I'm finally alone, and um and it feels great. And going to work every day and interacting with the new people on my new job, it's been good. But when I come home, I'm like, okay, I've had enough stimulation. It's good to be alone. But
Mhm.
then other times, um, and I really seem to feel it on the weekends, um, like Friday night. And I don't I don't know if it's because of I have this like a society thing, like, oh, it's Friday, I'm supposed to be going out with all my friends, or I'm supposed to be celebrating my work week. And I kind of believe that, like, I want to celebrate, like, oh, I made it through my another work week and I have a break. Although not really, because I'm in school and all my spare time is studying. I'm trying to get homework done. But a time to celebrate. And when I don't when I'm home alone, and I start to feel lonely, and then I don't have very many friends. I just don't have time. um
Sounds like you still want to be part of a group in a sense.
yeah, I know I need connection, In fact, my school program talks about how important connection is. Um, but yet I'm so busy, it's really hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I even I've missed church even. Usually that's really important to me.
Mm-hmm.
With this new job and the working full time and then trying to get all my schoolwork done, um, I just I just haven't I'm like, I don't have the time to go. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah.
You have to work with what you have.
Yeah, but I also know I know when I start to feel lonely,
Mm-hmm.
or afraid, um, I'll tend to retreat. This should be the time where you reach out. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like I should reach out. It's probably what's best. Um, just call a friend or something. But that's when I don't. I do the opposite and I retreat even more. And
Mm-hmm.
then that just feeds the loneliness and the fear that I'm like forever going to be alone. So, yeah.
Um, as you said that, it's questioning like whether you, in a sense, felt like it was healthier to, deal with the things on your own, the more introverted. Um, is there something, um, maybe through experience, if you were saying it goes back to childhood, um, that would make you feel like it's safer to, deal with it on your own?
I yeah, I would say so. When I was afraid as a kid, um I would climb up. We had this um I guess a linen closet kind of thing, and
Mm-hmm.
we opened the doors and there's shelves, and I could climb up to the top shelf of that linen closet, and it looked like it was a short shelf, but really it was tall and on the so I could sit up in there. And that was my hiding spot as a kid. And I would even bring like a box of crackers with me. So because I'd spend hours hiding in there. Um because I didn't I didn't want to deal with what was going on. Um so um yeah, there was uh I I created a sense of safety in that alone place. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Um, sounds like you had safety in your alone time, but not necessarily outside of your alone time. Um, tell me more about why you what was it that you were trying to have alone time for? Like was there something that you were escaping from?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't it's hard to talk about. So I don't know if I'm ready to share about that yet, but um
Well, if you don't want to share it here, there may be something that's a trigger there, and you never know. Sometimes those triggers can prevent us from being as free, in our life, or help or prevent us from identifying, how to get more of what we want, if we're holding on to a trigger.
Yeah, I think I think having the alone safety space can be good, and it was good and needed at that time, but
Mhm.
maybe it's not as beneficial now because uh, um it it is something that keeps me um from reaching out.
Mhm.
So whereas if I step out and reach out and make the phone call or say yes to the invitation instead of my always saying no. Um, so uh, those are opportunities to connect and
Mhm.
grow and heal because we heal in connection. I know that from my school.
Mhm.
Um, but but yes, the old coping mechanism of retreating to safety is what happens when um, I'm feeling, I guess, scared and vulnerable
Mhm.
and alone. So,
It sounds like the growth opportunity is learning how to reteach yourself, how to get safety not only in your alone time, but also in your connections as well, and
yeah,
what that looks like.
that would be nice. I, yeah, I'm just not sure. I haven't figured out. Well, I guess that's not totally true. There are times where I've pushed past the my safety zone, my comfort zone, and said yes. So, and amazingly, usually I've been very blessed that they've been positive experiences. I've usually, for the most part, have not been sorry for the times where I agreed or moved forward. Um, but oh, it's just really hard to do. So, and then especially now with being so busy, I could I'll it's easy for my mind to just have that excuse and like, oh no, I can't because I have to do this. Um,
Mhm. It does sound like you have positive experience where you can trust yourself with, having positive experiences out of safety. That's a good thing.
yeah, yeah, it has been good. I guess I just want to have more of those experiences. Um, um, but yeah, I don't I don't know. And then again, coming back to the alone thing, I will see um be at the supermarket and see an older couple, the husband put his arm around his wife, or a couple come in and they're holding hands, or even just see somebody give a kiss goodbye, or just nice displays of affection and care. And I don't have that right now, and I don't know that I ever will. At my age, it's not likely to meet somebody and fall in love or whatever. Like, it's hard for me to see that happening, and it's definitely not going to happen if I'm staying home all weekend and not in my safety zone. um I
It
I
sounds like
don't
there's
know.
some sorrow in not being sure if you're going to have that sense of warmth and closeness
Yeah, so
and
I think that's why.
tenderness.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's why I'm still I mean, I'm in this living situation with my ex-husband, um, to help offset the cost of school, and that is a blessing. But at the same time, I feel stuck because I'm not moving forward. I'm not pursuing other relationships. So I have no relationship really. I have my friendship sort of with my ex-husband, but I don't have a companion. And I don't my dream is to come to a place where it doesn't, I'd like to just fully trust that the Lord knows what's best for me and to rest in that. And if I never ever have a companion again, like that he's my companion, and that would be okay. I want to be at that place, but then there's still this longing and the fear of of living, just being alone forever. So
Mhm.
I don't know. I laugh, but it's not funny. It's not funny.
Where do you feel like God is leading you in your growth right now?
um, I feel like he's teaching me about rest and trust. Um, I have this funny thing I say with him, that I thank him that he is, um I say, growing me up to become more and more childlike. And I mean childlike in my trust, childlike in my faith,
Mhm.
childlike in my awe and wonder. Um,
Mhm.
and even I say childlike as in the renewal of my youth and the renewal of my strength and vitality, youthful strength and vitality, because hey, why not? That's what the word says. Renewal
Mhm.
of my youth. Um, uh, right. Renews my strength like the wings of eagles, whatever, something like that. I can't remember exactly. That bless the Lord, oh my soul,
Yes.
that scripture. But um yeah,
Well, if
yeah.
that's the where you're at, then it's you have that trust you said in childlike faith, and where is
I
that going to
do feel
take you?
he's teaching me and training me in that.
Yes.
Mhm.
And so you still have a focus, and that's good.
Yeah, yeah. I don't Yeah. I know, and I guess what comes to mind for me is the times that I have tried to live on my own. Like
Uh-huh.
when we were first divorced,
Uh-huh.
um I I moved away from the area because my kids had moved to a city a couple hours north. And so I moved to be near them. And I was like, okay, I'm on my own now. And at first it was kind of fun and exciting. But then over time, coming home to an empty house, and after working all day, and I had no one to share my day with. And I was in a new city, so I didn't have any friends. Um it's not like when you're in your 20s that you can just easily make friends. When most people my age are married or have grandkids or whatever. So it's like they're busy, they have people are busy, so it's hard to make friends and new friends. And so I got really lonely, and I had a really hard time. So I fell into a deep deep depression, and it was really bad, really bad. So so bad that I ended up coming back. So and then I tried it, and then things didn't go well. and I felt stronger and better, and then so I moved again, this time even further north, about 4 hours away. And again, it started out okay, and then over time I started to feel that loneliness, that I have no one. What's the point, because I don't have anyone to come home and share what happened with my day. It was really hard.
Sounds really hard. Yeah. A little bit of back and forth and compensating for, I guess, not the desired result of your feelings for something that you thought would be more freeing.
Yeah. Yeah. I It's just very frustrating. So, um, but so then here I am again, back, and like that's part of the fear of trying to move forward. If I were to, you know, I, I know I have to trust the Lord's timing and all that too, because I don't want to be, bless God, I'm gonna move out and do my own thing, because he's not telling me to do that at this time. But
Hmm.
um I don't know. Just those times feel like failures, and I so that makes it that much harder to do it, you know, to move forward and do it again, because it's like, well, I'm just gonna fail again. So I don't know.
Um, in a perfect world, what skill do you think you would need to be able to venture towards what you want to go towards, or whether that's being alone or whether it's being in a group, or what does that ideal picture look like?
That's a good question. I do not know at this time what that looks like. um yeah, that's something I should bring before the Lord. It's good to have a vision of the future, some sort of plan. And really, I've just been kind of uh, one school course at a time. Time goes by. That's kind of how I'm living. Like, okay, I make it through these 7 weeks of class, and then on to the next, and okay, what's next? And that's about as far forward as I'm looking. So, although I guess I do have something exciting, which is a little crazy. A church near me is going to be doing they're planning on doing an Israel trip in
Okay.
October of next
Okay.
year. Lord willing, depending on the war situation and all, obviously if it's not safe, I'm not gonna do it. And I'm thinking of, if it's safe and it's a go, of maybe going. But
Okay.
yeah,
Like, that's your exploration.
well, it's something that I've been wanting to do. In fact, when I was in, oh yeah, that was another time I moved to Texas for a time, and I knew that was gonna be temporary, or I thought, but I ended up coming back earlier than planned because I felt so lonely. I came back because I couldn't handle it. But while I was in Texas, the church that I was attending was doing an Israel trip. And I had to apply to be accepted, and like this whole background check, like this whole process. And I got accepted. I was one of the few that got accepted. But I didn't go, obviously. Um, it was supposed to be this last October, which then the war, they canceled it anyway because of what was going on. But I had signed up to go, and but I felt like Steve should go with me at that
Okay.
time.
Okay.
Because he's Jewish and he's never
Okay.
been to Israel, and he won't go on his own. But because they couldn't accept him, I didn't go. I mean, I dropped out. And
Hmm.
so anyway, so now there's this other chance to go. And
Okay.
um but as I was listening to the instructor, the guide, talking about the physical fitness that you need in order to do this. It's a lot of walking, and not a problem for me, but at this point Steve would not be able to do it. So now I'm thinking I need to, whether he can go or not, if I want to do this, that I need to, if the Lord gives me the okay, that I need to do this for myself
Hmm.
and brave it alone.
Sounds great. It's a step in the right direction because you were talking about your loneliness and feeling like you kept trying to go on your own and then coming back and then trying to go back on your own and then coming back and um, you're still going and you're still trying to attempt to, you're like, okay, I still have to do this for me. And that's a great goal to keep in mind, you know.
Yeah, yeah, I do want to, um yes, hold me accountable to that. Remind me of this goal, because I do want to do it, and I don't want my fear and excuses keep me from going.
Because you were talking about your last goal of wanting to just say about having space for yourself and then just being a little bit fearful of like, you know, not wanting them rocking the boat. So it sounds like you're starting to move a little bit more hopeful towards, you know, well, maybe I can't rock the boat, you know, maybe it wouldn't be so bad. Maybe it's something I need to do.
Yeah, because if I do, if the trip happens and I'm able to go and I go by myself, that will rock the boat, because he will be, why aren't you know why aren't you letting me come along or whatever. So, but he really wouldn't be able to keep up.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we were talking about this previously before in some other sessions that sometimes you wanted to care for other people, you know, and then sometimes you just kind of forgot, you know, to care for yourself. And
Yeah. Yeah, this would be me following, taking care of myself and doing, you know, Lord willing, what uh becomes open for me to do. Yeah. Yeah, I need to view it that way. Yeah. um,
how does that make you feel? The ideal of, I don't know, having taken care of yourself, I guess.
well, that I feels good. I feel like I've grown a lot in that. Um, I mean, when my kids were younger, no, not at all. I was like the martyr mom, taking care of everybody else. Um, but as they've grown older and I've grown older, um, I've gotten better at um doing little self-care things. Even if it was just, I'm getting a pedicure. I'm gonna get my hair done. I'm gonna um I don't know. I'm gonna join the choir, and you have to take care of the kids now on Thursday nights when I have practice. So um So gradually I've done more of the self-care. Um, so and I would say more and more it's been um able to do it without any, like before there would be some tinge of guilt there, or like, oh, I don't really deserve this, or shouldn't be doing this, or I sh- I shouldn't be spending the money on this. It should only go to this or whatever. And it's like, no, now I definitely in recent years have been more, no, this is the Lord put this desire in my heart. He's provided the means. I can do this. So it's good.
Yes, you identified, so you of growth, of being able to take care of yourself, and also sounded like releasing guilt and not holding so strong onto that emotion, which in my mind it sounded like almost holding it with a grip, that guilt and holding it on. Not maybe not for dear life, but pretty close.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't want to. Yeah. I think I used to do that. I think I used to feel guilty anytime I did anything for myself. So, especially when the kids are little and there's limited resources. Um, but um, yeah, it's definitely gotten better in that respect. So, but so in some respects, I'm taking care of myself when I do my little I'm alone and safe. Sometimes that is the right response, but I just know that it's not always. It sometimes it becomes a trap. And yeah.
It sounds like you had realizing that there's maybe needs that are sometimes you need besides your alone time. Maybe you can't do everything out there in the linen closet. You can have that snack, but maybe you need a few more needs besides having that snack in the linen closet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so I mean, we're wrapping up and getting to a close. We went through sounded like um, you've made a different, even though you've seen back and forth motion, between attempting to go for things and then going back, based off of that loneliness. You also released guilt in the process. And so you have made strides towards getting towards a you that you would like to get to. Um, and still being mindful of like keeping goals that you are still attempting to still go forward. So it's great that you're still in this process of you're going to keep going forward and you're not going to retreat back. Um, and so we talked a lot about connection, um, and safety, and how you found a lot of safety in your alone time. Um, but also you feel this need for uh, connection. And I also use the word trust a lot. Um, so trusting God and in your circumstances and um, where God's leading you. And there's a lot of comfort in that word trust. Um, so I will be talking more with you. You said that you would like to be held accountable for, going for a goal and making that trip for yourself and caring for yourself. And you're making strides towards actually wanting to do things for yourself and being able to go for a life that you want to have, and that's great. Um, so wherever that leads you, just so you can continue thinking about that, and I'll touch bases with you next time of, making sure that you still remember about your goal and how you're feeling towards your trust in God and where that's leading you. I'll talk to you next time. It was great to see you, Leigh.
Thank you. Sounds good.
I was so close to not getting time. I was like, okay, I gotta hold off just a little bit longer. I don't know if I can make my summary long enough. Start looking at the clock, you're like, you don't want to go 1 minute faster a little?
Whew.
So,
That's hard. It's hard either way, being the counselor or the client.
well, towards the beginning, I was like, okay, I could go for this amount of time. This is fine. And now we're in the longer sessions, and you're just like, oh, this feels a little bit longer now. Um, First, there was like 2 parts in our session. And now there's like
Yeah,
5.
yeah, for sure. Let's see. And I would say, I felt like you were present, you were listening, you were doing minimal encouragers, like you were nodding and paying attention. uh, um, had you have a nice quality, warm, tone of voice, and so good. So you encouraged me. I spoke and spoke, so I like, oh yeah, I gotta give you a chance to do your skills. Just kept sharing.
I tried to not overly push you because I realized that.
Sorry.
Oh no, I
Yeah,
mean,
I
I
don't
think
know.
that I think it was good, right? That I didn't overly push you because I feel like I still got a sense of where there was a trigger, but also that we can move around that trigger and still get to the desired goal.
Yeah, and I went back and forth like, ooh, do I share? Do I not? Do I share? Like, because I'm on. That would have been a little too complex, so I'm all, I think I'm not going to share. That's not those aren't beginning skills. My issues are big, so I should say previous issues were big. Thankfully more on the other side now. So, but oh yeah, I had some yeah. Yeah. Let's see. So yeah, I felt like you reflected back. So like you were paraphrasing and reflecting back, like you understood what I was saying. Um, so that was good, helpful. Um, I I don't think I don't remember any time where I don't remember any like disconnection or awkwardness or I don't remember anything that was, not okay. Like everything seemed to be going okay and smoothly.
Okay.
The flow was like seemed to go fine. So um yeah.
So you still felt like you got some desired results, right? Even with us going around subjects.
Yeah, well, because I do come to I kept coming back to the safety thing, right? But that was good. I mean, yeah. It made my issue um more clear
Okay.
uh of that I appreciate my safety, but at the same time it can be a jail kind of thing. So it keep me from reaching out, which feel like that's how I receive real healing is in connection. So um I guess that was a contradiction.
I thought about doing on the one hand and then on the other hand, and then I don't remember why I didn't end up doing it. I think maybe the story went elsewhere. We were reaching towards the end. So I
Yeah.
kind of summarized.
Yeah.
There was like there was a on the one hand you desire. I felt like I could have done it, but I didn't feel like it was going to get the desired result that I wanted to, or
Yeah.
that we needed to. So like there was a on
Yeah.
one hand you did you want the connection, but on the other you're still scared and you want your own time. Um, but yeah, it didn't feel like it was going to get the right. It was going to get you in a mindset that I didn't feel like you wanted to be in. So that
Yeah.
sounded more
And
icky. Okay.
all right. Well,
Uh,
I think we covered all. I felt understood. You were helpful. You paraphrased. I did the nonverbal, but you did good, and that you were present. So I think we covered
okay.
all the
And we shall end.